Prepare yourself, guys. This is Chris and Sean. We're talking through the medias, and we're gonna officially name this bad boy. We got like a whole bunch of new names. We're like going through.
Fresh off the lot.
We're fresh off the lot. Movie reviews or just fresh off the lot, whatever. No, we're not buying a new car. We just saw the advanced screening of
Sully.
Man, all right. What'd you think, Sean? It's all your. This is your show, man. This
Right off the bat, 2 thumbs up for this, Chris.
2 thumbs, man. I wish I had a third thumb. That was a great movie.
I wish I had 3 hands because I give it 3 thumbs up.
3 thumbs up. But it was an awesome movie, man, and I enjoyed watching it with Sean this time, especially because Sean did a lot of work. He lived in New York for
number of years.
How many years were you out there?
Number of years. I used to work on that river on the boats right there where that plane went down. I remember I was in New York at the time. I remember it was all over the radio and the news because we had VHF radios on board the boat. They were thinking it was a terrorist attack initially, and then we realized it was a crash. But this was phenomenal, man. This movie was phenomenal. Clint Eastwood, Tom Hanks, man. And I don't want people to try to compare this to Flight.
Right.
It's a very different movie.
Right.
So don't compare it to Flight. Once you get that out of your brain, just absorb the fact that this is a true story. This really happened. He landed a jumbo jet in the middle of the Hudson River in the middle of winter, and nobody dies.
I think the amazing thing was, and I didn't know this. I mean, because being a person that, I'm not from New York. I don't know much about boats. I don't know that much work in the water and things like that. And when we watched it on the news, you're just not in that world where those people were going through it. You're just an observer, just thinking, oh my God, this is crazy. Just watching on the news. You're thinking about 9/11, and then when it doesn't turn out to be that,
there's a sense of relief.
Yeah, you're just thinking about how amazing this landing was. But then when you're watching this movie, and spoilers, guys, we're going to into some spoilers. You hear little things like, you're not supposed to survive that type of a landing and whatnot.
Nobody's crashed a jumbo jet in the water without killing people.
I've been on many plane flights, and they're talking about in case of a water landing. In case of water, so you're thinking
you're all gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. They don't tell you that in case of water landing, you're most likely gonna die. Like, you don't hear that on a plane.
Heads down, brace.
That's what really threw me for a loop. Like I said, I used to work overseas, so I've been on a lot of plane rides. And you always hear, in case of a water landing, you're always thinking, oh, you got a flotation device here and this and that. But the movie finally, they told the truth. They told the truth. They said you're not supposed to survive this.
Even the air traffic controller, when they lost it off radar, he just pulls his headset off. He wrote him off as dead.
He just knew they died. He gave up on it. He's like, you're not supposed to survive this. That hit me hard.
They kept saying, how many engines did you lose? Both. And they're like, both?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I was thinking about saying, like, this is kind of spoilers, but in a way, it's
we
not
know
really spoilers.
What happened
it's
at the end
of the movie. It's a true story. So is
movie.
it really spoilers? You guys know, you know how it ends. But let's
go over the synopsis here. Lay it down, Chris. What's the basic story of this?
So if you don't know this true story that happened, 8 years ago?
2009, January.
2000, yeah, exactly.
Flight 1549, American Airways.
In America, we just elected a new president.
Or is it U.S. Airways?
A couple of days later, boom, this happens in New York.
Was it U.S. Airways?
It was U.S. Airways.
Yeah.
And New York is going crazy again because another plane is flying too close to the buildings. Everybody's thinking it's a terrorist attack.
They had a scene where the people were like in the high rise, they're like, oh, shit. That was
one of the best moments of the movie when they showed
the
New
boardroom
Yorkers
meetings.
in boardroom meetings, like, oh my God,
just get up from the meeting. Just get up.
Oh my God, like, not again. They're back, and everybody's freaking out. People really thought that was it, and then when it landed safely, no explosion, no. What threw me off was all right, now here's the spoilers. Now there was like a lot of nightmares.
Oh
in this
God,
movie.
I can only imagine.
They
break it up into pieces, and then they finally give you the whole shebang. And the breakup pieces, they don't give you not that they don't give you enough, but you don't really. It takes you back out of them. So you don't. But when they do the full what happened, it's so tense that everybody in the theater shut up.
Exactly. I think in a way, what Clint Eastwood was trying to do was jar you so much, like to try to simulate the feeling and the fear that those pilots, those people, and everybody went through. I mean, you're in this moment. You could be buying something from the store. Next thing you know, something happens, and boom, you're there again. And it's just these people were just just so shaken and just and like that scene where Sully was thinking about what if the plane had crashed and if it hit a building
and nightmares the whole movie.
And one of his friends was calling his name like 10 feet away from him. Sully.
It's
Sully.
PTSD.
Yeah, he couldn't hear him, and it just I didn't think about that.
He had post-traumatic stress disorder.
Exactly. I didn't think about that when it happened in real life and you watched it on the news. I never thought about the visual of the captain looking back and seeing that plane sinking into water and all the floats and stuff and all the boats and everything all around.
It starts to sink in.
Yeah, it starts to really sink in. I never thought of it. Like, I'm just a guy watching CNN.
You just hear about a plane crash.
Yeah, you just hear about it, and you don't.
It puts you in the cockpit. Yeah.
Oh man, you forget I forgot it was January.
They lost both engines at 2,800 feet.
Yeah.
With a 737 jet.
It's amazing. Now this is what I want to ask you about. Now let's get into the nitty gritty of this. Okay, so the second this guy lands the plane, the second everybody is alive. You know, we did a count. Everybody's alive. You're a hero. You're a hero. Boom! Here comes the corporations that say, "How
NTSB.
can we make it your fault?"
Yeah, how was this not mechanical?
Yeah, exactly.
How was it the pilot's
can't be
fault?
our engine failure. It has to be human error. How did you feel about that?
I was really kind of angry. I mean, they even made a point of it in the movie to say all of his peers, all of the fellow pilots, when have you ever heard of a waterborne jet landing where no passengers died?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll have to Google it because I think that's right. I don't think that's ever happened where a large
before.
jumbo jet has landed in ice cold water and the plane didn't break apart and kill people.
It threw me off that I didn't even think about it at the time, because not only did they land safely and everybody lived, but they still could have died.
Yeah.
After landing safely.
But the NYPD and the scuba divers.
If everybody didn't come to get them at that exact same moment, you know,
I think that
people could have drowned. People could have.
Almost, it looked like two of them started to get cut. Okay, so guys, for those of you who don't know, the current in the Hudson runs about 4 or 5 knots, which means that if you throw something in the water from an anchored boat, it goes straight down river.
Yeah. And people were freaking out and jumping in that water.
Yeah,
ice cold water.
I thought the plane. I didn't know that the plane stayed afloat that long, because in my brain, even watching this movie, guys, I'm like thinking as a passenger,
like a rock.
I'm like, move, get the fuck off the plane.
Yeah.
I'd be like pushing, get the fuck off the plane.
And that's the sad thing about it, is because I got kids too, and I'm thinking about the mother with the baby. And you remember things like snakes on a plane, people getting trampled.
Yeah,
that happens.
Imagine how much panic there would be. And
that
rear door opened and this water starts filling in.
The water starts to come in. And you didn't, and like I'm sitting at home, like again I'm watching it on the news, and I'm sitting in my comfortable. I was overseas.
I was
still in 2009. I was still in Iraq.
It was all over the world, though.
I was watching it on
in Iraq
on military news. I was watching it, and I remember we were all at work just watching the TVs, the soldiers, all the contractors just glued to it, just watching.
In a war zone, talking about a plane crash on the Hudson.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the soldiers was thinking. Not again! You know, they were pissed. But then when it landed safely, it was crazy. But you don't think about the cold air, the cold water. You didn't think about that watching it on the news. But seeing this movie, man, it put a lot of things in perspective, man. Clint Eastwood did a great job on this one.
He is phenomenal. You know, it almost didn't have a cinematographic feel to it. It felt like you were watching almost like a documentary, like not because of like hand cams, but just the way they play it. It's so effortless. The acting is like, well, it's Tom Hanks. Yeah. I mean, he didn't have it. There was nothing forced. It wasn't silly. It was straightforward. And I've seen a lot of footage of this guy, the real captain. And just like in the movie, he did not want media coverage. He was just kind of like, you know, don't film me. He was uncomfortable around people. You know, hi, yeah, that's nice, great. You know, he didn't want the attention.
People just throwing themselves at him, wanting to hug him, wanting to shake
strangers.
his hands. It just threw him off. He didn't see himself as a hero, and true heroes don't.
That's true.
That's awesome. I just go back to, and there was funny moments in this movie, but Sean is 100% right. How serious the tone was from beginning to the end. Even though there was moments where you could laugh, and there were moments you were like, aha!
Yeah, I would have done it. What was the one thing you would have changed if you could have redone this? I would have done it in July.
In July, hell yeah.
So after the crash, like Chris says, the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, want to find a reason why it's his fault that the plane ended up in the Hudson as opposed to landing back at LaGuardia or in Jersey. And he says, well, they run these simulators. And of course, in the simulators, the computer can land the plane, and then they run man simulators based on what the computer did, and they land. But what they don't tell you until towards the end of the meeting, spoilers, if you don't want to hear this, turn this off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Han Solo dies.
Yeah, one of the simulators they had to run like 17 times before they could get it to work.
Yeah, to make their numbers, or what the computer said, what the computer indicated what was going on or possibly could have gone on. They had to justify that one little scenario. The computer was like, I think those engines worked. And I think you could have landed. All right, let's run some simulations to show that happening.
And but then he does a mic drop moment where he's like, well, this is not a video game. We hit the birds and then we had to think for a second.
Yeah.
So they added the additional. They gave it 30 seconds.
And
they were doing it more than right around 30 seconons in the real scenario, because they listened to, and then as soon as they put in that extra 35 seconds or whatever, all of them crashed.
Right. And which I'm gonna be honest, I didn't understand what that meant, like adding the 35 seconds.
Well, because they're like, we hit birds, what do we do? Read the manual, blah blah blah. They added an extra 20, 30 seconds to accommodate for the fact that there is. I've been in emergency situations. I don't know, Chris. I don't know if you ever, but it never goes according to plan. There's always what's going on type scenario for at least a couple seconds, and they added that into the simulation, an additional 30, 35 seconds, and then every simulation crashed.
I guess makes a difference.
They all died.
I mean, the thing that was crazy was when, like you said, the mic drop moment. It's like you're giving me these simulations. You prepared these simulators and these pilots that are simulating these things in this video game, and told them exactly what happened and what the computer says could have happened, and you're telling the pilots, do it the way the computer
do this exactly.
Go do the steps that the computer said could have happened. You're not in the same world
without any thought.
Situation. Without any thought. Just go up and fly the plane, go left, land on LaGuardia.
Yeah,
that's all. And that's what they're doing. Okay, then they do it. But it's like, then Tom Hanks he was right. Okay, so all right, now go back and give those people that's doing the simulations the pressure of the fact you got 155 people on the plane. The pressure of the fact that you're not going to go into a video game and possibly die. No, this was real life.
It was
people
not a video
act
game.
Differently when they know they can really die. I mean, if I'm playing Need for Speed, I'm gonna fucking run over everybody and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But when I'm in this car, I take
10 and 2, baby. 10 and 2. Yeah.
You know, I don't fuck around. Pardon my language, but that was a great moment in the movie. And when it tells you, you know, this is life, man. This is real out here. So these simulations, like, screw you and your simulations. Like, this is real. I love that moment. So,
then after they run the simulations with the extra let's figure out what's going on time, they all crashed and died. And then the NTSB board starts making phone calls, turning around. Because they know they're in deep shit.
What did I say? He knows.
Yeah, we got to tell him how many times.
Give him his medal.
Yeah. And so then they all start kissing his ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I never understood it, and a lot of people, and especially me, when they found out that this movie was coming out and they read the book and whatnot, a lot of people didn't know that Sully went through this, that they investigated him. It was like, you landed the plane, everybody lived, you're a hero.
Yeah, that's everybody thinks, the hero of the Hudson.
And it's like, and I was thinking, what were you gonna do to him? I mean,
right? He saved everybody on board.
He saved everybody's life. You were gonna ruin his retirement, take his
license
away, and
maybe sue him.
You ruined one of our planes for no reason.
Right.
But thanks for not letting everybody know. Everybody didn't have to die. They could have landed.
It's like they almost wish they had just died.
It's like it's easier just to say, and to blame him after the fact when he's not able to defend himself because he died or something.
The head of the NTSB says, you know what, this is the first time I've ever actually listened to a cockpit voice recorder with the pilots
sitting right there looking at me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just true. The pilots are looking at you simulator guys.
You got me fucked up.
Yeah. Tell me what you would have done differently. You're not gonna throw yourself in a plane where you know it's got two bad engines. You're not gonna do it, and that was the point. Sully said the best line of the movie was like, nobody told us. You got those simulators. You told them what was about to happen. Nobody told us that we were gonna lose 2 engines. Nobody told us we were gonna have bird strikes. we had to think.
Nobody's ever trained for this.
Nobody's ever trained for that. We had to think on the fly, literally.
And they said he skipped 15 steps in the EGR manual to flip the auxiliary power because he said if we had sat there and gone through 15
1,
steps,
2, 3, 4, 5,
we'd have died.
We'd have been playing like 6, 7, 8, boom. Yeah, no, he skipped to 15 because they knew he had to. The guy had the experience. Like I thought about Ghostbusters. We had the tools, we had the talent. And he knew what to do. Apparently,
in the movie, it says he was a fighter pilot, and he went through a similar where he almost died. I think it was like an F-4 Phantom.
I love those moments of the movie, man. You know what? In my mind, when I'm watching this movie, I was thinking I'm calling him the opposite of Launchpad McQuack. If any of you guys know DuckTales, the cartoon, Launchpad McQuack was Scrooge McDuck's pilot who always crashed the plane. Sully always lands the fucking
lander.
Plane. He is the lander, man. He lands every plane he gets on. He's always something's going on. He's the X factor.
Yeah,
he always lands that plane.
They put him in an F-4 Phantom in his Air Force days or whatever, and it starts to have some kind of thing, and then the computer, his co-pilot's like, "Let's bail, let's bail." It's like, "No, we got this.
We got it.
And he lands it.
Leroy Jenkins. But yeah, man, that dude, he's the guy you call. You going in the air? You want to land?
Where's that Sully? I want Sully.
I need Sully. Goddamn it! Oh God, I shit myself. That's the guy you need. Sully is always the guy that's gonna land that plane.
What a name, Sully.
Yeah, I mean, and he's just an average, a cool, down to earth guy.
An everyday hero.
Yeah, just doesn't want the recognition. Best heroes are the ones that don't act like it, man. That's hey. So as you probably can already tell, we love this movie.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, go see it, guys. Absolutely.
Go see this. And what a treat. We didn't expect that we were going to see it in IMAX.
IMAX, holy shit. Go see this in IMAX.
I'm usually telling people standard is okay.
Those cockpit scenes when they were crashing, holy shit.
That's the way you have to see it. I hope they don't do it in 3D.
I don't want to see it in 3D.
3D was not necessary.
It's too serious.
IMAX is perfect because the sound effects, hearing the wheels like scratch on the ground, every little sound was it
was loud. They cranked it up during the crash scenes.
That screen and the angles and oh my goodness.
Now some of you guys, if you're prone to motion sickness, this will probably get you a little motion
I was literally about to give that same warning. If you're afraid of flying, don't watch this.
Oh my god.
Don't watch this movie if you're about to take a trip the next day. I did that my very first plane trip. I watched Alive the night before.
God.
Like an idiot. The first time I was about to get on the plane.
We got to do a throwback from way back on the Live, guys. All right, guys. Well, that was me and Chris's opinion on the pre-screening to Sully. Highly recommended. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, man.
Go check it out. In the meantime, we are coming up on 800 subscribers. Woo! So we will be giving away free movie tickets. Maybe you get movie tickets to Sully. Almost, yeah, that's right.
Recommend it. Hey, go see Sully. Yeah, I hope that you guys check it out in IMAX. Now we will give those tickets out to IMAX.
Yeah, we'll pay for IMAX this time.
Go for it.
We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. We'll be giving away that console. Woo! Meantime, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, click down, leave below in the box, subscribe. Woo! Chris?
Till next time.